All right. So the first thing when it comes to decision making is to think about willpower. And willpower is not finite. We do not have this endless amount of willpower that we can use all day long. We do not have this discipline, the same amount of discipline in the morning as we do in the afternoon, as we do in the evening, depending on the type of person that we are, and also depending on how many energy stealers have come into our day. And so what I like to think about as far as willpower is that we wake up with a bucket. And think about that bucket being full of monkeys. And each monkey is a decision. And every decision that we make, whether it's what do we eat for breakfast, what color jacket do I wear lipstick, do I not wear lipstick, do I have cream in my coffee, do I not have cream in my coffee, which route do I take to work? Every decision is a monkey jumping out of the bucket. And by the end of the day, the smart monkeys are not left in the bucket. That's typically why if we're going to get in an argument, it's at the end of the day. It's why when we go into the refrigerator at the end of the day, we're less likely to make a healthy choice than we would in the morning. We don't have any decisions left. Decision making also corresponds with our blood sugar, our serotonin, our melatonin, and many hormone channels throughout the body. And we can do things that can increase or bring those monkeys back in the bucket, and we can also do things where multiple monkeys jump out. There was a really fascinating study done in Israel with about 1,100 judges. And they looked at all of the parolees going up in front of the judges. And right before a break, right before a lunch, right before the afternoon break, and at the end of the day, 100% across the board, they were denied parole. The reason why is because when we are tired, or we are hangry, hungry, angry, our blood sugar's gotten low, our serotonin levels have dipped, we make two kinds of decisions, fear-based or status quo. The status quo decision for a judge is to deny parole. That's the easy decision to make. So when they looked at the parolees right after a break or right after lunch, increased significantly. Before we move on, I want you to think of 3 people that you would conceive as healthy and energetic, and write them down, and write why. And this could be people that you know, or people, it could be government leaders, celebrities, astronauts, I don't care. But you're perceiving them as healthy and energetic, because if you don't know them, you might just think that they are. Who wants to give me one of their healthy and energetic people? Yes?
My oldest brother.
Your oldest brother? Why?
He's a pilot, so he keeps traveling all over the place. There is no certain time, like certain working hours from 8 till 5 that doesn't fit in his business. And he's always on top of his work. He's doing great.
Okay, so your brother is a pilot. He travels at all hours. He's always on top of things. Excellent. Yes?
My son, Jetson.
Your son?
Yeah, he eats well because we feed him well. He exercises a lot through school and sport, and he's generally healthy and a happy chap.
And how old is he? 9. A lot of energy. Yeah, good. So 9-year-old son, they feed him well. He plays sports. He has a lot of energy. Good. Yes? And why?
Because you would have an endurance race in the morning, then the event in the evening, and in between we would run a city. So I think he's full of energy.
Yeah, endurance event in the morning. What did you say in the evening?
I don't need him. You know, his whole day is packed.
He's just that.
And at the
he's
same
just-
time, he runs a city, and he's a family man, and I think he inspires everyone in the city.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, I'm not saying that this about him, but the reason why I use the word perceived is because I was always the healthiest person in the room, or so everybody thought. Because I competed in endurance races. I went to the national championships twice for 30-hour adventure racing. But I wasn't healthy inside. Whoops, I wasn't healthy inside. I was doing things that I thought was healthy, but to the extreme. One more person that they have someone that they perceive, anyone that they perceive as being healthy and energetic that they don't know. No? Okay. That's actually good if it's all people that you know. Is there anybody that thinks that they don't know anyone that's healthy? That's good. There's always people in the US that raises their hand because we are generally not a healthy place to be. All right. So when it comes to eating for energy, we all have our excuses, or I should say lack of energy. Birthday parties, holidays, buffets, television watching, or sitting in front of the computer, or vacations. So write down when you tend to make unhealthy food choices. It could be one of these things, or it could be another time. Maybe it's the weekends. Maybe it's at night. Weekends? Weekends. Why on the weekend?
Because I'm eating healthy all the week, so I would say maybe 2 days or 1 day break.
Okay, so that's actually okay. So he was saying that it's on the weekends when he lets it go, because you eat healthy throughout the week. And that's okay. Yep. It's good to have a balance. What's that? Friday's your treat day? Yeah. I like to use the word treat instead of cheat. Yes.
I used to behave like this. Sorry. I used to behave like this, but I think it's like you give yourself a reward to eat bad. And it's a lifestyle, so you should look at it the other way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Saturday, pizza day, finish.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy what I do now more.
I agree with you too. So I think that, so what he is saying is that he used to be that way, where he would have his treat days or treat weekends, but it's your lifestyle now, and so you don't do that. And for some people, so there are two types of people. There are abstainers and moderators. So an abstainer needs to just say, no more pie, no more cake. It's very black and white because it is a slippery slope. If they have one piece of pie, then it just keeps going. Or if they have one cookie, then it just keeps going until half the bag is gone. Then there are moderators, where if they are told they have to abstain, all they want is the cookie. That's all they think about is the cookie because they can't have it. So they're better knowing that they can have a cookie every day. They just can't have 10 cookies. So it depends on what type of person you are. Unfortunately, I am an abstainer where I need black and white. My husband is a moderator, and he needs a little at a time. So as a household eating, it makes it very difficult sometimes. But I'm glad that you both raised that opposite point. That's very good. Anyone else have a time when they make unhealthy food choices? Yes?
When you come back late from work, you think that there is no time, you eat whatever is readily available.
Mm-hmm. That's a very common one, yes. And 2 down from you, I think you were wanting to say 2?
Yeah. When you have a very mentally tiring day at work, you're just mentally drained, so you take it on food.
Right, and it's that opening up the refrigerator and you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to think. Exactly. So when we get to that point, do you use the term hangry here? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. When you get to the point where your blood sugar is very low, you're not always making the best decisions. It's that fear-based status quo, but sometimes it's not even the ability to make a decision. About 14 years ago, maybe? Yeah, 14 years ago. I was in an area of Washington, D.C., DuPont Circle, and it's nothing but restaurants. And I was to the point where I was hangry. And I'm walking with my husband, and we're walking in every restaurant. I would stop and I would look at the menu. And I would stop and look at the menu. And I'd stop and look at the menu. And for 20 minutes, we walked down the street. And finally, my husband was like, would you just pick a restaurant? So I picked a restaurant. And then I looked at the menu. And I couldn't decide what to eat. And then finally, I just picked one. And then I didn't even like it. And it was because I let myself get so hangry, I could not make a decision. And I am not saying that you should eat all day long, but you don't want to get to that point where your blood sugar is so low that you're not going to make a smart decision. And some of that has to do with counterfeit and real energy. Because when we get to that point, as you were saying, at the end of the day, or when we're very mentally tired, what we go for is chemically concocted vending machine delicacies wrapped in crinkly packages, right? Because our body knows that we'll get a quick blood sugar boost. It's very fast to eat it. We can eat it while we're doing other things. We can multitask. We can eat and even type, holding on to that crinkly package.